Why don't you fuck off back to hell? Eat that. When you're dead, I'll miss you. I don't imagine the feeling's mutual.
Looking good there, old fella.
Go to hell.
After you, old fella. After you.
I hear you've been drinking and taking morphine again, Reverend. Doesn't say much for your soul.
Now, Micah Bell is one of the most hated characters in video gaming. But in this little video essay of mine, I'm gonna give a little tribute because he's arguably one of the greatest antagonists we've ever been given in gaming. And shout out to the flawless voice acting from Peter Blomqvist as well, who voiced Micah Bell. But yeah, let's get into it. So, as I was mentioning, this is going to be about Micah Bell. You know, someone who's cunning, ruthless, and a complex personality. I feel like Micah Bell has cemented his place as one of the greatest video game antagonists. I won't necessarily call him a villain because he wasn't really the villain in the game until, you know, towards the end. But again, in this little essay of mine, I'm going to dive into Micah Bell's character, his motivations, and try to understand the actions and how he left a mark in the gaming industry. Now, to fully comprehend the greatness of Micah Bell, and I loosely use the term greatness because he's an asshole, but one hell of an asshole. But yeah, in order to comprehend him, we must first understand the role he plays in Red Dead Redemption 2. Micah enters the narrative as a new member of the Dutch Van der Linde gang, introducing himself as a wild card. From the beginning, Micah's untrustworthy nature is evident, as he seems to relish in chaos. Now, Micah's charisma and manipulative tendencies enable him to sow seeds of doubt within the gang, fueling conflicts and pitting members against each other. It's his cunning ability to exploit vulnerabilities that sets him apart from other video game antagonists. Micah thrives in an atmosphere of tension and becomes a catalyst for the gang's eventual downfall. But what motivates Micah? To truly understand his actions, we must examine his insatiable greed for power and wealth. Micah sees the gang's robberies and heists as opportunities for personal gain, caring little for the loyalty or camaraderie of the gang itself. His motivations are driven solely by self-interest, setting him on a collision course with the game's protagonist, Arthur Morgan. Now, Micah's manipulation for me is evident from the very beginning of the game, but his true intentions are never clear. He often puts himself in positions of power and uses his charm to convince others to follow his lead. He's able to manipulate the gang's leader, Dutch. And Dutch is manipulated so much into making rash decisions that ultimately these decisions lead to the downfall of the gang itself. One of the most notable examples being his relationship with Arthur Morgan, the game's protagonist. Again, Mike is able to play to Arthur's doubts and insecurities, often convincing him that Dutch's decisions are the best course of action. He also uses his charm to get Arthur to somewhat do his bidding in the name of Dutch, such as when he convinces Arthur to help rob a stagecoach. Now, Micah's manipulation ultimately leads to the falling out between him and Arthur, because Arthur is never necessarily manipulated to the point where Arthur is on Micah's side, but Arthur is doing it in order to maintain, peace for the gang, maintain that loyalty to Dutch, and, as a proxy, loyalty to Micah. Now, Micah's betrayal of Arthur Morgan. I feel like that's when it solidified his status from being just an antagonist to a full-blown villain. Because his actions are calculated, and his actions are always within the realm of self-preservation, turning his back on those who once considered him a brother. And I think the emotional impact of his betrayal resonates deeply with players as well as members of the gang, fueling the desire to see justice served on Micah. Now, Micah's greatness as an antagonist also stems from his complexity as a character. While all of his actions may be reprehensible, Micah is far from being one-dimensional. He possesses a sharp intellect, tactical prowess, and again, an uncanny ability to manipulate those around him. And I feel like this complexity adds depth to the character, making him not only intriguing, but also compelling. Now, in Red Dead Redemption 2, some of the most memorable moments in Red Dead revolve around the confrontations between Micah, Arthur, and Dutch. These verbal showdowns expose the contrasting philosophies that drive their actions. In this case, the contrast between Arthur and Micah, where Micah's nihilistic worldview clashes fully with Arthur's search for redemption, creating a little dynamic that fuels the game's narrative tension. And I think ultimately, what sets Micah apart is the emotional impact he has on players. His actions elicit feelings of anger, frustration, and a burning desire for revenge. As gamers, we become invested in the narrative and the character. And Micah's malevolence leaves an undeniable mark on our gaming experience. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Personally, I still rank Micah as one of the greatest video game antagonists. I don't know where you guys would hold him in that stead. Let me know in the comments below. Hope you guys enjoyed this little essay of mine. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, stay blessed, stay dangerous, and peace out.
Sons of Dutch makes us brothers, Morgan? Sometimes brothers make mistakes. Dutch, think. Dutch, be practical now. Screw it.
Right there. Imagine having to put down your own brother.
Oh my god.
Oh. Died last time. Come on, let's go. Woo. Let's go. It's those father-son moments again. Oh, but now Freya's here as well.
That if you just build great games, everything would turn around.
And then the great games point is the one that I wanted to argue against heavily, because what is the point of your console if it's not for games? Like, what is the point of having a console if you're just gonna do Game Pass and cloud gaming? Like